From being seen as one of the brightest Blizzard developers to getting completely exposed as a fraud who built his entire career on lies, my name's Ryan and we're going to talk about how Pirate Software's years of lying finally backfired, destroying everything he'd worked for. Jason Thor Hall, better known as Pirate Software, seemed like the real deal. With 7 years of experience at Blizzard and the confidence of someone who'd actually built games, he stood out from typical gaming streamers. But he wasn't getting much attention until 2022, when he started posting short videos sharing interesting tips and random tech knowledge.
Take your mouse and you put your mouse inside of MS Paint, and then you hold spacebar, and then you use the arrow keys, you can draw like an Etch-a-Sketch. And people didn't know this. MS Paint is king. MS Paint is my favorite program ever. And all you have to do afterwards is you just take it and you shake it up. And it's gone.
And everything changed in October 2023 when his videos caught the attention of millions of viewers. People were going crazy over his content and saying things like, "Legitimately some of the only YouTube shorts I watch are yours. They're concise, informative, and exactly what's on the tin." And I don't know what's more amazing, his software knowledge or all his explanations being done in Paint. The growth was so explosive that even Jason was shocked by how fast he was blowing up.
I'm gonna be real with you, with the massive increase in the amount of people that are on here, I went to my tax man because I was terrified and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And he said, "What did you do?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "My grandson knows who you are. What did you do?"
As he skyrocketed to 2.6 million subscribers on YouTube and 1.2 million followers on Twitch at his peak. For a moment, Pirate Software seemed like one of the good ones, a guy who'd done the work and genuinely wanted to help others learn. But as his popularity grew, so did his ego, and the more people praised his genius, the more obsessed he became with maintaining that image. And although Pirate Software kept getting bigger and more famous, little did he know that this meteoric rise was about to hit a wall. On January 12, 2025, one incident would expose who Jason really was underneath all of that confidence. Thor was a part of OnlyFangs, a highly competitive World of Warcraft classic hardcore guild made up of some of the most well-known and skilled players in the game. It had huge streamers like Sodapoppin and Tyler1. Jason was playing as Mage in a high-stakes hardcore dungeon run with teammates Yamato, Ozzy, Snoopy, and Sarah, where death means losing everything permanently and you have to start your character from scratch. Things started going wrong for the group when they pulled too many enemies and got completely overwhelmed.
Boss is coming too, watch out.
Yeah, well, I got shield wall. God damn it.
Run.
Just run. Can you target dummy?
And as his teammates' health bars dropped and everyone fought desperately to survive, Jason made a choice that revealed his true colors. Instead of helping his dying friends, he used his teleport ability to escape.
I can target dummy, yeah. Should I do it?
Just kill the master, yeah, target dummy.
And just ran away, leaving his teammates to die.
Any grenades, anything?
You can just
Heal him.
Yeah, you just heal me. Just come back a little bit.
Boss is on me, setting bear form.
Snuppy, just run.
I can help a lot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look
This
at my mana.
is savage.
You see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Which resulted in Sarah and Snoopy losing their high-level hardcore characters forever.
For me.
Snuppy.
No.
I don't think I cannot stun him.
Although Jason claimed he had no mana to throw an attacking spell at the mobs, he actually had a mana restoring gem in his inventory the entire time that he chose not to use.
He also has mana gem and their on use gives mana. Okay, so he has a lot of mana.
When confronted, Thor refused to take any responsibility, blaming everyone except for himself.
They called
The boss
run,
came up after,
I
like, the
ran,
Masters
and I was
2,
out of mana.
after we,
I don't know what the hell they were expecting, dude. That does not make any sense. That
You instantly ran out, bro. You instantly ran. You didn't even look
as much
back.
as you're angry right now, of course I ran.
I'm not angry at all.
You
I'm not angry at all.
overpulled 2 packs. You overpulled 2 packs and a boss. I had 1,400 mana left. I had to spend all of that mana to try and put it on Blizzard to save you guys in the first place, and nothing left. You weren't paying attention to party resources, you overpulled, and you weren't paying attention to where the boss was. That's not on me.
Then he also got passive-aggressive with his teammates.
Good?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You go roll a mage then. See you around.
And being downright disrespectful and leaving the call when people called him out.
All did mistakes, bro. Like I didn't say, we are just blaming you. It's about the zero accountability is what makes us so mad.
There's no zero accountability, dude. Everyone can do something better.
you-
But when you open up and you yell over another person
listen,
like you
can
were
I
doing earlier,
speak?
nah, I'm good.
You
See ya. I'm not doing that shit again with him.
OnlyFangs guild leader Soda Poppin himself reviewed the footage.
I don't think he got them killed on purpose. I think he just sucked ass and panicked.
And ultimately kicked Pirate Software out of the guild, but instead of apologizing, Jason doubled down on social media, refusing to admit he'd made any mistakes. The World of Warcraft community turned on him hard, with people saying things like, he hits all the hallmarks of a narcissist, and the last few months of rapid popularity growth has definitely gotten to him. I'm not sure I've ever seen a streamer's head grow as large as his has in such a short period of time. This would be the first moment when people started realizing that Jason wasn't really who he portrayed himself to be like, despite acting like he's an expert at everything.
Also, whoever said World of Warcraft, WoW is not difficult. And that's coming from someone who was a mythic raider, dude. It's never been difficult at all. Here's how you beat WoW. Stop standing in fire, you dumbass.
He always fails to match his words with his actions, and people started calling him a roach throughout the community. The name stuck so well that an indie game called Idol Streaming Bonanza added a parody character, a literal cockroach that sounded like him.
Evocation's on cooldown, man.
The parody was clearly meant as a joke, poking fun of Pirate Software's online persona and recent controversies. But instead of laughing it off like any normal person would, Jason's fragile ego couldn't handle the joke, so he filed a DMCA takedown against the game, getting it temporarily removed from Steam, claiming the game used his audio without permission.
Hey, Kronos, we have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. Well, I filed a DMCA claim, and he has now filed a counterclaim against me. We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose. You cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission. It's a really stupid thing to do.
But Jason hadn't done his homework because after a counterclaim, the game came back online. It turned out the audio wasn't even in the Steam version he complained about.
They filed a false DMCA claim on my game because they assumed that the game on Steam had this content in it. It does not. It does not.
Filing false DMCA claims can have serious legal consequences, and the internet wasn't having it. This was just another proof that Jason couldn't handle any criticism without trying to silence his critics. Even when directly asked if he comes across as arrogant, Jason's response said it clearly. His mask was starting to slip as more and more people could see Jason for who he really was, and this is exactly what started his downfall from a loved streamer to one of the most hated people on the internet, with people saying Pirate Software really be speedrunning to become the most unlikable person. But Jason's problems were just getting started. As the hate poured in, everyone started questioning everything about him, such as his coding skills, which he constantly bragged about.
Hi, my name is Jason Thor Hall, also known as Pirate Software Online. I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard Entertainment, then Amazon Game Studios, and now I own my own studio, Pirate Software, by the same name, which is an indie studio, and I've been here for about 8 years now.
And after all the controversies made Jason blow up on social media, he caught the attention of another developer and YouTuber Coding Jesus, who decided to take a closer look at Jason's actual code from his game Heartbound, and what he found shocked everyone. Right away, CJ noticed something very suspicious.
I can only find 2 developer streams that Thor actually brings up code on the screen. Does not actually do any coding. The code is just visually there on the screen. And 98% of the actual stream is him looking at his subscribers, looking at his tip jar as to how much money people have sent him, and also looking at videos about games, but never actually doing any game development in a dev stream.
And as he dug deeper into Jason's live stream footage, the evidence became more and more obvious.
Alarm 0, Alarm 1, Alarm 2. What is that? What are those alarms? Is it an alarm for person A, an alarm for whatever character, an alarm to do what? It's unexpressive, it's really spaghetti code in my opinion.
Jason's code was a complete disaster and full of rookie mistakes that not even an intern would make, let alone someone with over 20 years of coding experience.
Well, Thor is using the incorrect data types. This isn't even getting to some sort of advanced design or design pattern. It's showing a complete lack of understanding how to represent information in a program, okay?
And a lot of his code was unnecessarily complicated for no apparent reason.
Another thing here that I noticed is the absurd amount here. Having a comment for we have asked the question and question asks equals 1 is totally superfluous, a waste of time, a waste of space. I'm not sure why it was added. if not just to waste time on a dev stream, to spend more time pretending you're coding than watching.
CJ's breakdown of Jason's code not only destroyed Jason's credibility, but also turned him into a laughingstock of the internet.
Anything would be an upgrade over what is written here. It's below what you'd expect of a bottom tier intern. Honestly, if I was claiming I'm a game developer with 20 years of experience, this would be embarrassing to have online.
And viewers were furious, with one of them saying, what Thor is doing is performative programming. He doesn't actually code, he just likes to have serious looking code on screen at all times. The backlash he received led to Jason deleting 2 days worth of stream footage and left a petty comment on CJ's video pointing out irrelevant details.
Pirate himself also responded, and he got a bit hung up on the fact that my mouse had some variable highlighted, despite the fact that I never talked about that variable. It's actually quite funny because I refer to every variable other than the one that he referred to in his reply,
while making completely false claims to save his face.
But skipping over that, he makes the claim that you can't define a Boolean in GameMaker because GameMaker itself doesn't have a native Boolean type in its scripting language. In other words, it interprets reals as Booleans. Now, to reconcile the fact that he used a Boolean in his code with what he said, I decided to do what any developer would do, and that is I consulted the documentation. So if you go to data types in GameMaker, oh, look at that.
But of course, Jason couldn't admit he was wrong and instead went on stream to insult CJ personally.
What do you think about Coding Jesus calling you out? I think he's striving to be relevant so he can sell you more $360 an hour trainings.
However, as many people began to notice, Jason's coding disaster and his tendency to do anything but code during his dev streams explains why Heartbound has been in early access for 10 years. And those who have played Heartbound have only confirmed how negative the experience is, with comments such as, "This game is legitimately a scam by a streamer who wants to wear game development as a costume. The game has been in development for almost 10 years. It has barely 2 hours of content. The advertising around this game has been more than misleading. It has been completely false." Several YouTubers who reviewed Heartbound found exactly what you would expect from Jason's coding skills.
There are exactly 3 puzzle sections, 5 total puzzles, and this is being very generous with what I consider a puzzle, by the way. A single combat section, 1 battle, yes, 1 that is repeated, so that's 2 total battles, but only 1 unique fight, and 2 mini games. That's it.
Basically, no real gameplay, and comments were full of people roasting his game, saying he's named Pirate Software because there's no way you are paying for playing his game, while others question his career. Sometimes I wonder if he meant to say he worked at Dairy Queen making blizzards, but misspoke and then just ran with it. Since he started getting exposed, Heartbound's recent reviews have been overwhelmingly negative on Steam, and people started questioning his entire career. Bob Ross of Coding, the hacker from the government, the Blizzard employee, you'd think with such titles he'd have made at least a couple of games by now. Thor's biggest and possibly only useful career skill is social engineering, meaning the only thing he's actually good at is convincing people he's good at other things. But as it turns out, his expertise in coding and game development wasn't the only thing Jason was faking. Looking back at his older content, Jason sounded like a regular guy.
Of course, I'm here with Thor, founder of Pirate Software. How's your show been so far?
It's actually been amazing. It's our first time out here at Denver Comic-Con, and there's so many people, and they love the games.
But fast forward a few years, and suddenly he was speaking like a discount corpse husband in every stream.
No, if you want to learn how to hack, dude, go to owasp.org.
Viewers started noticing the dramatic change, and one user even commented, "Pinocchio, but his voice gets deeper every time he lies." When confronted, Jason claimed that he was just going through puberty again, despite being over 30 years old.
Went back to the doctor. Doctor's like, hey, sometimes in your early 30s, your voice can change as a man, and it's effectively second puberty.
But then came the 2024 Streamer Awards, and Extra Emily interviewed Jason live on stage, long after his alleged second puberty hit.
Yeah, that's correct. Software and game development's finally a category on Twitch, and now it's up here at the Streamer Awards, so yeah.
But his voice was noticeably higher than his stream persona, with many people calling him out. This must have been recorded before his second puberty. This proved that Jason was lying about his voice and somehow artificially making himself sound deeper on his streams in order to act tough. But even caught red-handed, Jason still refused to admit the truth.
People thought I was using a voice changer. People still do. They meet me in person. They're like, it's not a voice changer. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, my voice just dropped into the floor. And I can make it go all the way down here too. Like that's the bottom of my vocal range.
And viewers weren't buying it anymore, with one commenter saying he's just such a good hacker that he can change his vocal sliders in person. Faking his voice wasn't the only thing that Jason likes to do to make himself feel important. He also loves to act like he's the smartest guy in the room. During a stream in October 2023, Jason was playing Outer Wilds, a puzzle game that's extremely difficult to figure out. Jason was stuck in a room where he couldn't figure out how to make progress. Getting frustrated and confused, Jason quietly grabbed his phone from the side while trying to make it look casual.
An image of a quantum object. Image of a quantum object.
What followed was an Oscar-worthy performance where he pretended to be in deep thought, telling chat not to spoil anything while he figured it out.
Image of a quantum object. Oh, by the way, I am not reading most of chat, and I can't.
But if you watch his eyes, he was clearly just reading something off of his phone. Then suddenly, like magic, he solved the puzzle.
I think I just solved it. I think I just solved it, chat. I think I understand. I think I understand how to do this.
Some of his viewers immediately saw through the act, joking he doesn't cheat, he worked at Blizzard for 7 years. It's part of their yearly training to summon the solution by saying, wait a minute. They also mocked his past behavior. He's regenerating mana when he looks down at his desk for a minute or two. But Jason wasn't done cheating, because later in the stream, he got stuck for the second time.
What? What? What?
But as he couldn't figure out what was happening, he reached for something off camera once again, and after some more deep thinking, he magically knew exactly where to go and what to find. But perhaps the most damning piece of evidence of his cheating came when Jason reached the Quantum Moon, where the puzzle required you to use knowledge you only get much later in the game, but somehow Jason already knew exactly what to do.
What is the rule of the sixth location? We know the one of quantum imaging. The Eye of the Universe? We've never been there. I'm gonna try and get it to the North Pole on this thing. No, there's no getting up there.
Which just proved that he was cheating. Such disgusting behavior. Thinking time proceeds to Google for 2 minutes and suddenly, I know the answer guys, I figured it out. Jason of course decided to double down on his lies, saying the following.
A lot of people say that I cheated because I looked at my phone, because it was right here. Why would I cheat with my phone when I have a 3-monitor setup? It's a pretty easy way to talk about this. I have one monitor here that actually shows broadcast information, usually using game capture, so I could put a guide up here if I wanted to in the first place. This one is just OBS. I could put it right next to chat there and it'd be really easy to hide it because I'm constantly looking at chat anyway. Or I could put it on the right and put it on another one where I put all my social media stuff. It doesn't make any sense to use a phone to look at a guide while you're running through a game like that when you could just look at anything else.
But that wasn't the only time he cheated during a blind gaming stream. In May 2024, Jason got caught red-handed again while playing Animal Well, somehow intuitively solving complex puzzles like it was no big deal.
Wait a minute. It's the lengths. It's the lengths. This is 4 blocks wide. This is 4 blocks wide. This goes in the top left.
And this time, the evidence was undeniable. As one viewer pointed out, you would never know to use that poster as a guide to put the pieces of code together unless you had all 8 of them. He only had 4? It's a dead giveaway he's skipping to the solution without even having all the pieces to come to that conclusion. I would delete my channel at this point. Everything he does is a complete fraud, lol. Getting completely exposed, Jason quietly changed his stream title to protect his image, but this was also caught by his audience. Lol, he changed the title from Blind Playthrough after being caught using guides. Just when you thought Jason couldn't get any more fake, people started digging into his biggest claim, his legendary career at Blizzard. Turns out, Jason's dad is Joey Ray Hall, a former senior project manager at Blizzard and a major figure in the gaming industry.
No, my dad didn't inspire the WoW guy from Souther. My dad is the WoW guy. He was the cinematic director for Blizzard for 23 years. He worked on the episode with Matt and Trey, and they turned him into a character. That's him.
But Jason didn't join Blizzard as some hotspot developer. He started as just a quality assurance analyst, basically testing games for bugs, which immediately made people wonder if he only joined Blizzard through his dad's connections, leading articles being written about him being a Nepo baby. And despite him getting his foot in the door through daddy's connections, Jason isn't even a good son to his dad, and when he got confronted, he tried lying to his own dad.
Last month was my birthday and you missed it. You didn't call me, neither did your brother. You guys both ignored me for my birthday.
That isn't true. I sent you a
is
text.
true. No, you did not.
But when his dad didn't buy it and pressed him for the truth, he had no choice but to check his messages and admit that he'd been lying.
I got nothing. You sent me one last year.
Did I send you one last year? Am I a shitty son? Oh, man.
Yes. I want everybody to know.
It was last year. Wow.
Instead of showing any shame or apologizing to his father, Jason laughed it off like it was no big deal.
Did not say anything to his father for his birthday a month ago.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't text you anything after that last happy birthday, so it's still the same one. It still counts.
Your logic sucks.
If Jason will casually lie to his own father on livestream, there's literally nothing he won't lie about to protect his fake image. But karma was about to catch up with Jason when he actively spread misinformation and killed off the Stop Killing Games movement, which was started by YouTuber Ross Scott, also known as Accursed Farms.
As a refresher, Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement to stop publishers from effectively destroying video games they have already sold to customers.
The idea behind the movement is simple. If you buy a game, you should be able to play it forever, even if the company stops supporting it. Ross had been building momentum for months, trying to get enough signatures to pass actual laws protecting gamers.
Well, we've launched a European Citizens Initiative, which would introduce new law in the EU to stop this. And we have time to do it. 1 year. Go to stopkillinggames.com. It'll tell you what to do.
This was posted on August 9, 2024, and the deadline to get all the signatures was on July 31st, 2025. That's when Jason decided to join the conversation, and on August 6, 2024, he made a video speaking against the movement and spent hours on stream telling his millions of viewers why the whole thing was terrible.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I dropped the mask entirely.
Pirate Software criticized the initiative in his videos and streams, claiming it was too vague and would hurt developers and live service games. But the problem wasn't just that he disagreed with the initiative, it was the way he explained it.
So for those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games is basically, we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them. Where it is a single-player game that has always online functionality, it would impact every live service game that exists.
And Ross had to make multiple videos just to correct all of Jason's misinformation.
No, that's not what it is. Stop Killing Games includes single-player games, but nothing about it is specific to them. He completely made that up, and I have no idea where he got that impression.
Jason hadn't gotten one or two things wrong, he got everything wrong and presented them as facts.
Transitioning an entire multiplayer server-side game into a single-player video game, which means rebalancing the entire experience around single-player, rebuilding everything in the entire game. How are you going to do that with Final Fantasy XIV? You're just going to make all the raids soloable?
He also made up complete lies about what the movement was trying to accomplish.
So that's one thing Thor doesn't understand, but he also seems to think this is about converting multiplayer games to single-player. Once again, he made that up, and I have no idea why he thought that.
But although people tried to debunk Jason's claims, the damage was already done, and Ross had to address how Jason's lies had seriously hurt the campaign.
Our biggest critic by far is YouTuber and streamer Pirate Software, who goes by Thor. If your only exposure to Stop Killing Games has been this video, then you've been misinformed. This video is by someone who does not understand the campaign, has been trying to stop it, and has been making up what it is about. Thor here has been the #1 voice on the campaign, and he's been lying about what it is. That's a bit loaded though. In this case, I'm using the second definition of lie. I have no evidence it's the first.
When the truth came out, the internet exploded with criticism. Fans, other creators, and even people who had never heard of him before started calling him out. Pirate Software is either being malicious on purpose for some reason, or he's just really dumb and plain stupid, or as he said it himself, this is the most uneducated take I've ever seen in games, except it is about his own takes. The backlash was so intense that Pirate Software lost over 600,000 YouTube subscribers and close to 300,000 Twitch followers, all within a 6-month period of Ross's video coming out. Every drama channel on YouTube started covering his downfall, but instead of apologizing, Jason acted shocked that people were even mad at him because he had done nothing wrong.
Yeah, Hutcher, I did. I think it's really hilarious to me that that entire community is so butt mad at me for putting out a video 10 months ago and then not being refuted, and now it's my fault that everything is going wrong for them.
And as viewers pointed out, Thor is physically incapable of admitting fault. Once you understand that, it all makes sense. And Pirate Software's greatest fear is admitting he could be wrong. This only made everyone even more mad.
His ego is so out of control, I feel like he's only a week or two away from exclusively referring to himself in third person. The smugness is nails on a chalkboard. It just makes you feel icky listening to it.
And people started calling Jason the not admitting you were wrong final boss. Even as his career crumbled around him, Jason kept dodging responsibility.
No one hates Pirate Software because he doesn't agree with Stop Killing Games. But the reason so many people, myself included, do not like how Pirate Software is handling all this is he is refusing, outright refusing, to just admit any level of fault, that he was wrong about anything.
And he even went on Twitter claiming that he was innocent all along. He said, quote, "My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all. Making me the villain did though, but the data told a different story." Another timeline graph showed exactly when the campaign lost momentum, which was right after Jason's videos went live, but his reasoning for trying to dodge criticism was getting more and more unhinged. Yeah, I lied, but you guys took too long to correct it, so it's your fault. The delusion, bro. Even Penguin Zero tried talking sense into him, but Jason's ego wouldn't budge.
Now, he did just post a tweet where he said he talked to me and Josh Strife Hayes, and in that tweet, there's not a single peep about misrepresenting what Stop Killing Games was about. It's more so about how the public just doesn't understand game development, and it kind of reads to me like we're all just too stupid to understand it from his side of things. Our conversation basically amounted to toilet paper.
The backlash went beyond online criticism. Jason claimed he received death threats and was being swatted, eventually announcing he was quitting game development, saying, "I am no longer working at off-brand games." People were attacking all of the games we were publishing and trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged. But even that was wrong too. As people pointed out, none of the games currently worked on by off-brand games is having a massive review bombing. The only game that is having a review bombing is Jason Thorhall's own game Heartbound. And Jason's refusal to take any accountability left everyone speechless.
He is so hell-bent on proving he's right and everyone else is wrong that's saying these things. He's got the mega mind, once-in-a-generation galaxy brain that no one can possibly understand. All us plebeians are beneath him, and we're lucky that he even graces us with streams, and we're stupid for thinking that he did anything wrong here in regards to his coverage of Stop Killing Games and what it's actually about. It's just so odd to me. Because if he would just come out and be like, yeah, you know what? Looking back on it, really reflecting, hearing what you guys are saying, I can see why this was so misleading for so many people. I didn't mean for it to be, and yeah, maybe I misunderstood some of these things.
And at this point, Jason's reputation was completely destroyed. Dude went from fun/interesting shorts with an interesting voice to I lied to my entire community about what something was about, and now they're mad at me for it in the span of like 7 months. And people aren't even surprised about Jason lying anymore, with one viewer saying, Pirate Software loves to double down when he knows he is wrong because he has a huge ego. He does this anytime anyone disagrees with him. However, when a viewer asked him to make an apology video to explain all of his wrongdoings, Jason laughed it off like it was the stupidest idea he'd ever heard.
Put up a video saying you were wrong with every situation and the internet move on? I am not doing that. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, simply bend the knee and lie about how you feel and everyone will stop bullying you. That's a great idea, dude. Yeah, no, eat shit.
showing that Jason would rather watch his entire career burn to the ground than admit he was wrong about anything. But all of this would pale in comparison to the latest controversies surrounding his fake Twitch hype train. In April 1st, 2024, Jason became the first Twitch streamer with 100 hype train levels, and for those who don't know, a hype train is a supersized celebration when community members unite to support a streamer they love. It'll kick off when there's a spike in support events like subscriptions or bits from different viewers. Jason's record was massive. His hype train completed at level 106 with over 54,000 gifted subs and 8.2 million bits, earning him a six-figure sum and exclusive emotes for participants. But in July 2025, a leaked screenshot surfaced showing Discord DMs between Jason and his head moderator Kronos during the April 1st Twitch Giga Train, showing that they were boosting it themselves. In the leaked messages, Jason allegedly broke down how donating in bulk gives a high return to the streamer and also asked if Kronos had made any purchases yet. Not only that, the DM also revealed how Jason coordinated with Kronos about artificially boosting the hype train, to which Kronos said did 50,000 bits at 20 seconds left. And when Jason asked about the alt account he used, Kronos answered, "Serendipitous Bean, where's the beef?" which is the exact amount of bits donated from the same account they mentioned during his stream.
Serendipitous Bean with 50,000 bits said IRL friend of Kronos and excited that they are now free from corporate.
I know.
Love your stream and what you do for people here. There aren't many cool or supportive streamers left once they get big like this. Stay cool, bud, and tell Kronos that Ben sends their regards.
And when confronted, Jason tried his usual deflection tactics.
It is absolutely not against TOS to have somebody use their own money to buy subs and bits for the channel if they want to. That in no way was triggered by me, nor was he compensated for that or reimbursed for it.
And again, the comment section was overwhelmingly negative, with comments like, "Bro's a hacker for Blizzard but can't keep his Discord on a separate monitor. Pirate faked all his reputation, he deserves the full downfall now that people have discovered it is fake." And just like his voice and his coding skills, his biggest accomplishment was also built on lies, and every single thing that made him famous turned out to be outright fake. If you like this video, you'll probably enjoy these next ones as well, and don't forget to subscribe.